events. With the Pan Am Games, I believe all the players there were current or just recently retired professional players. So it depends again on the players that are eligible for an event. Nice play here at 3. Nice scoop at 1.
Well, so, 3 up, 3 down in this bottom half of the 4th inning.
Yeah, I'm glad you said only doing a half inning.
Yeah, that's right.
But again, you gotta look at what's eligible, who's eligible, and then you're gonna pick the best players. There have been some players who played seniors, some guys who just recently retired from pro that are still available. But again, until those details are set, I'm not sure what the roster would look at. I just know that we'll have the best players that we have available, and we're fighting to get into the event, and then when we're there, we're fighting to go at it. Just like this, I believe today, World Baseball Classic that we're in with the U.S. Colombia, we got the 4th team from Miami. I believe that was announced, and that World Baseball Classic is a pretty special event.
Obviously, there's a lot of success with the Toronto Blue Jays last year, obviously going deep in the playoffs, and that's helped a lot. And obviously, they've partnered up with Baseball Canada, so that's giving a good push on the grassroots level. Talk a little bit about the Blue Jays Academy.
Blue Jays Academy, I mean, they're right from coast to coast. Whether they do 1-day, 2-day, 3-day camps, they have the winter caravan. As you know, I'm hearing some provinces are up 30% in players. Some provinces I hear in New Brunswick, for instance, since we're here, there's some associations that have not been around for years. They might have one team this year up to 4 or 5 teams. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, not only what the Jays are doing, but I think what the provincial offices are doing, the programming that they're set, just says what it is. And again, you see a ton of kids around this ball field that may not be watching, but they're in the not parking lot, but they're in the side fields. They're playing. They're just having so much fun, and really that's what it is. You want to see some smiles on their faces and have some fun.
Well, I think that's one of the big things for these kids. They want to have great experiences playing a great sport. Kelsey McIntosh, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast tonight.
Thanks for this. On behalf of everyone who's home watching, this is amazing coming to Atlantic Canada to have this set up. We have this event, and then we're also in Summerside where there are 15U Nationals. It's amazing. On behalf of Baseball Canada, thanks for doing this. This is great.
Well, make sure to join us on our webcast all weekend long in Summerside and here in Fredericton. Thank you, Kelsey.
Take care.
13, Sean Hutsack.
You can talk it? Yeah.
Back to action on the top of the 5th inning here at Royals Field. Scott Giggy will be joining us here in just a short moment. Hotsack is our first batter up in the top half of the 5th inning. He'll be followed up by Peters, and then Forster will be in the hole. Inside pitch clips the strike zone. Hotsack, the catcher, gets a final swing in here final prep swing. Wide open stance. 2-1 count. That's going to be off the leg, I think. Fouled off. Just past the Royals dugout. Makes it a 2-2 count. Hotsack looks at a pitch well up high. Right about chin level.
Just me while I was gone, or?
Kelsey and I had a great discussion, about development, about the Blue Jays Academy and what they've done, as well as the provincial associations. That's, we always want to hear about the development of the sport. For the long-term sustainability, that Hotsack will get a rope out to left field. Barr will able to bring it in, and will be a single for Hotsack to lead things off at the top of the 5th.
Now batting the left fielder, number 22, Jesse Peters.
Jesse Peters up to the plate here now for BC.
You can't see British Columbia here, Bonning here, so looking to get that ground ball to get.
Well, that's another strike. Kramer doing some fantastic work. Bobby Mash sending us another tweet. Trivia time.
Oh, let's see that one.
Might have to check his account.
No.
Peters looking at an 0-2 count, falling behind early. And a big swing. We'll send him to the dugout.
Now batting the second baseman, number 11, Bob Forster.
I got half of it, but I'm not sure what the other half is.
Have to check it out. Might not be for the children. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, no. We gotta keep it PG here, Bobby.
That's going to be popped up. Well past the backstop.
I got the 5-4 part on Bobby's pitcher. 5-4 is.
All right.
Yeah. I've seen those before. See the 5-4, 5-4. That's the score. On
Yep.
the bottom.
Not sure I'm going to guess the
Bottom
other
of the fifth.
one. Maybe. Well, it's a 2-0 lead for the Fredericton Royals.
He'll have to send us that the answer to that. I think I'm close, but
And that's going to be poked out into right field. Hotzak slows up, stays at second.
Now batting the shortstop, number 7, Joel
So
Cooper.
Forster able to get a single out in the right, puts 2 men on and 1 out. The shortstop, Cooper, up to the plate here now. Joel Cooper.
John Hickey said he'd love to, when it was dead air, no ball game going on, I'd love to hear you guys fill this dead air. I thought we were pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought we were pretty knowledgeable what was happening.
Well, we can fool a lot of people. Cooper takes a look at ball 1. Back to the top of the order is on deck. Eric Herbranson. Varga is in the hole. High pitch. Well above the shoulders. Kramer falling behind here, 2-0.
I think he's going to have to go after Cooper here. Hopefully he gets a ground ball. Because the top of the order is coming up.
And that's a solid pitch, but inside. That draws the ire of the Royals dugout. 3-0 the count here. Batters count for Cooper.
Kramer's got to limit some damage here. If he does allow a run here, that wouldn't be a worst case scenario here. Just don't want to allow 2.
Well, you're trying to contain and not have the top of the order come out with men on the bases. Takes a crack at that one. Kramer able to grab it. He'll opt for third. Over to Mike Washburn. Gets the advance runner on the fielder's choice. Obviously the smart play.
Yeah, it was. He was fielding the ball towards third base. So for him to stop, throw it back to second, try for a double play, that would have been a tough play to make. So that was a smart play by Kramer.
So 2 down here now in the top of the 5th. Langley looking to put some damage on. Not sure. There's a good crowd that's down by the beer garden, looking to see if there's any type of action down in the bullpen for Langley.
We can't tell anymore.
No, we're being told no. Just a couple kids throwing the ball around.
Although, like, one kid down here can throw the ball hard.
Oh, yeah?
I went to facilities and everyone called me Joe Buck.
Oh, they know that you're on. You're on your game.
Dear God.
Eric Herbranson takes a look at strike one.
He wasn't happy with that high strike. But he is 6'4". So.
Exactly. He's a long, long body. That's why I always thought that I'd be a good batter. I got a short torso.
You walk all the time.
Oh, that's right. Just looking for the on-base percentage. That's all I'm looking for.
Maybe you should just crouch down.
Well, when I played bantam ball, I was only 4'8", so. So 1-1 the count here now for Herbranson. It's going to be a pitch right down the pipe. So 1-2. Runners on first and second.
So if John Hickey is listening, still listening.
That's into the dirt.
Great job by Aaron. Great job by Johnson behind the plate. Called the pitch. He knew he had to block it. Anyway, if John Hickey's still listening, his buddy Nathan Belleville says, "When isn't Hickey complaining?"
He's one of the loudest characters out on the ball diamond.
I remember Hickey coaching Fredericton and Nathan playing midget. They used to fight every game.
And a big swing, Kramer.
Great job by Kramer.
Yeah, he does the double fist pump. He is jacked up for the Fredericton Royals. Gets himself out of a jam. The Royals head into the bottom half of the second inning. Or bottom half of the...
Top half.
The top half...
British Columbia in the top of the fifth inning, they scored.
Bottom half of the fifth inning. We're going to get this right at some point. They got to they got to doctor it up on the scoreboard. Bottom half of the fifth inning, they got a 2-0 lead. They're continuing to stymie the Langley Blades here in their opening game of the 2016 Baseball Canada Senior Men's Championship here at Royals Field.
On your feet and sing it with me.
A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the Royals. If they don't win, it's a shame, 'cause it's 1, 2, the old ball game. Let's go, Royals!
Well, a lovely rendition of the old ball game by Mark Sibley, the public address announcer.
Carey just rolled over in his grave.
Yeah, it's part of the ambiance of Royals Field.
Oh, God.
That'll send people to the beer tent right there. He's having a good time. He wants people to have a good time. That's why he likes to have people going to the beer tent. So Dave Crossman will lead things off. He's got that RBI home run. Knocked it off the park on his first pitch in that third inning.
Just a shout out to Brooks Saunders. If you can hear me a little bit better now, just tweet me. Make sure it's he told me to get the mic closer to my mouth. So.
Yeah, just as long as you don't swallow it.
Yeah.
1-0 the count here for Crossman. Takes a look at strike one.
Davey ripped a 1-0 pitch back in the third inning for a home run. Give the Fredericton a little insurance.
Molly's now looking at a 1-2 count. Takes another crack at that one. That's opposite field. Back to the fence.
No, he didn't.
And yes, he did. Crossman will round the bases. Opposite field showing off his athleticism.
He doesn't take a long run on the bases, I'll tell you that. Good for Dave Crosman. One of the good guys in the league for sure.
Crosman made sure he touched all 4 bases that time. Puts no doubt in the minds of the Langley Blaze.
Wow, just some guys just have their numbers, right? And he must just see the ball perfectly out of his hand.
And lays down the bunt. Fantastic play here. And we'll get the out. Try to just confuse here after the big home run. Tanner Banks
Now batting the left fielder.
gets that's a ground out against Tanner Banks.
Yeah, that's
on
good
the
play.
bunt attempt.
That's good play by Tanner. They're not expect. They're just hanging their heads after the home run. Tries to slip down a bunt. That's a really good play.
Well, here's Dave Barr. Mentioned him a few times. Barr has a hit here in this game and scored a run.
He walked back in the 3rd inning.
Barr takes a look at a low pitch, makes it a 1-1 count.
I'd like to give a shout out to
And drives that out into left field. Peters will pick it up. It's just past Varga. And Barr, 2 for 2 here in this game.
The third baseman, number 5, Mike Washburn.
give a little shout out. Hopefully he's listening. Parker Lyons. Parker is a little kid that hangs out at the ball field in St. John. He's about 2 or 3, and he asked his dad where I was. He hears me, but he doesn't see me. So little shout out to Parker Lyons. It's almost time to go to bed, Parker. It's 8:30.
Getting dark out there. Well, Schaefer has two earned runs against him here. Those 2 home runs by Dave Crosman. 3 runs have scored. Given up 8 hits. Barr is at first, and Mike Washburn is at the plate. And that's going straight away center. I don't think it's got enough. And Barr will head back to first. Washburn pops out into center field for Herb Branson.
Now batting the first baseman, number 3, Jody Peterson.
Well, here's Jody Peterson.
Justin McQuaid, a player in the senior league, he says, P-test for Crosman after the game.
Might have put him in the home run derby last night.
Yeah, dear God.
2 home runs on the at-bats.
He was all seriousness running those bases, but when he got to do some high fives, his smile was pretty big.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't ask it from a better guy. Peterson looks at an inside pitch, evens up the count 1-1. Barr still at first. And that's a swinging strike well ahead.
He threw a nice change up there.
Yeah, well, Schaefer's had 6 strikeouts already in this game. Not to be outdone, his former teammate and now rival, Shane Kramer's got 9. Schaefer opts to check the runner at first. One of the best things about going to see the Montreal Expos games, they used to play the chicken after every time the opposing pitcher would throw to first.
Yes.
Well, that ball, the strike 3, bobbled up, so Peterson will be thrown out at first from the catcher, Hotzak. That will leave Dave Barr stranded, but Dave Crosman, 2 home runs in 2 at-bats. puts a third run on the board for the Fredericton Royals after 5 complete. This webcast of Baseball Canada's 2016 Senior Men's National Championship from Fredericton, New Brunswick is proudly presented by Bellline TV1. Make sure to sign up for 5, 3 amazing services, 1 amazing price.
Partenaire officiel des championnats nationaux 13 ans et moins, ainsi que du programme d'initiation DQ Rally Cup. Dairy Queen appuie le baseball dans des communautés à travers le pays, en aidant les jeunes à développer leurs habiletés et surtout à s'élever.
Now playing first base for your Peterbilt DQ Royals, number 26, Devin Thomas.
Well, we're heading into the top of the 6th inning, a 3-0 lead for the Fredericton Royals. Devin Thomas will replace Jody Peterson at first base here, heading into the late stages of our opening match, opening game for the host team, the Fredericton Royals, taking on the Langley Blaze of BC. Fredericton Royals looking to make an impact here, hosting these national championships, using the home crowd to their advantage. I think we got just under 3,000 fans here for tonight's game.
I think you'll see that a lot if Jody's playing first. Late in the innings, he'll probably sub himself out for defensive purposes.
Well, he mentioned that going into this tournament. He wasn't sure how much he was going to get to play. Might get a DH role or play it first. He was willing to play whatever Coach Mike Layton wanted.
Well, it's one thing that's eluded the Fredericton Royals is a medal at the Nationals. They've gone a few times, and a lot of them know this is their last time, and so they're willing to do whatever it takes, to get this goal, to medal here at the Nationals this weekend.
Jordan Varga looks at a strike on the inside part of the strike zone. 1-2 count here as the leadoff hitter in this 6th inning. He'll be followed up by Webster and Germain. Pitch up high, looking for a little bit of a changeup. Couple of southpaws playing late into this their opening game. Down low in the dirt. Full count here now for Varga. Varga is 1 for 2 at the plate.
Kramer will want to make him hit his way on here. Want to give no freebies.
And that's going to be opposite field, down that left field line. Not enough. Dave Barr gets underneath it. Will be the first out.
That's a great job by Kramer. He hasn't walked anybody yet, and he struck out 9, and I think he's only given up 2 hits. This is a pretty impressive outing so far.
So that'll bring up Webster. Webster not able to move on from the first round of the home run derby last night. He was my favorite to go through, but that comes from my lack of experience of watching baseball at the national championship level.
Well, he's a big boy. I thought he could be able to mash too, and he did hit a few home runs. Check swing. He wanted an appeal, but the home plate umpire took it himself, to the dismay of third base coach. One coming up to Webster.
Takes a great swing at that one just underneath. Fouls off into the VIP parking lot. Sounds like it hit a car. Hopefully not mine.
Yeah, that's close to mine too. Yeah, I can't get over 120 and I can't see at the windshield. That's the difference.
And a big swing. Webster not able to catch up to the fastball of Shane Kramer.
This is the best and I'm sure he's thrown some dandy games here this year, but this is unbelievable performance by Kramer. With a really good hitting team too.
Well, Kramer records his 10th strikeout of the night. We need the guys in the beer garden, the guys and the girls in the beer garden to put up the K signs.
Yes.
Little challenge for the Fredericton fans that might come out to watch tomorrow night, Friday night. Good night to come out. Down low. 1-1 the count.
Good friend Jeremy Nash in Moncton. He says, "How about that, Dave Crosman?" And Jeremy's a good friend of Dave as well, and he's having a great game so far. I think he might be in the lineup tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. Not sure how you keep him out of the lineup. 2 home runs on 2 at bats. The only thing he needed runners. Jerry Stone hit 2 home runs earlier today for Newfoundland and Labrador, but he had 1 runner on in each one. Jermaine takes a look, and he looks over the dugout where he's going to have to go sit.
There's a lot of players from Langley shaking their heads tonight going back to that dugout.
Well, he absolutely stymies this Langley Blaze team. You're watching a live and interactive TV1 webcast. Continue to send us your tweets and your Instagram posts, your emails, emoffitsports@gmail.com. You can contact Scott Gigi on the old Twitter. Love to hear from you. Get your shout-outs live on the air here at Royals Field. 2016 Senior Men's Championship of Baseball Canada.
9003. Come on up to the Jeremy Auctioneers press box and get your cash. Head down the line and get some Papa John's pizza. $3 a slice or 2 for $7 with a pop. Leading off for your Peterbilt DQ Royals in the bottom.
Well, the DQ Royals are up for the bottom half of the 6th inning. Aaron Johnson looking to create some noise here. He'll lead things off. Then it'll be Corey Wood and Chris Sorensen, the man known as Fooge.
Fooge. He's had that nickname for a while.
Oh, yes. In down low. 2-0 the count here now for Aaron Johnson, leading off in the bottom half of the 6th. A 3-0 lead for the Fredericton Royals. Shane Kramer, the import, with an absolute gem. Up high.
Nobody can see it.
And no. Losing it in the darkness. It's tough. It's right around that time where it's dusk, right? It's between light and dark.
The center fielder, number 10, Corey Wood.
So it's a cheapie, but Johnson will take it. That makes him go 2 for 3 today. But it's a tough sky. They're going to have to start pointing it out.
John Lemke.
Corey Wood digs in at the plate.
Fredericton doesn't like to bunt much, and they haven't bunted much this year. So I'm not sure if you'll see Corey bunt here or not.
Well, Tanner Banks did try earlier, and after the Dave Crosman second home run of the night, wasn't successful on it, but you got to take the chance. Well, there's the bunt. Rolls down that third base line. It's going to be off the bat.
That's a great job. That's a great bunt by Corey Wood.
Well, Wood absolutely lays it down. And you got to think that sometimes, Hotsack picked up that ball, thought about the automatic out. Do you think that sometimes that will get enough English to spin out into foul territory?
Well, he might have left that, but he wanted to get an out, but Corey couldn't have placed that any better if he threw it there, and that made it a tough play for the catcher, and so now the Royals got something going.
Well, Schaefer is going to get a visit from them at the mound from Steve Peterson, or at least one of the coaching staff.
We'll have to see how they rule that. If it was,
I can't imagine that's an error. Unless the only error would be, I guess, the catcher because he threw it offline
on the throw. But I think you still have to give a sacrifice to Corey Wood. You can't.
Now batting.
I don't think you can give him a bat for that.
Mackenzie Washburn.
I gave him a base hit.
That was a single. So Chris Sorensen will be replaced by Mackenzie Washburn.
Everybody in the ballpark knows what's happening here. Chris cannot bunt. The Mackenzie can.
That's a nice place bunt by Schaefer, looking to go to third. They'll get the force out. And Johnson will head off to the bench.
Just a little too hard of a bunt, and he had to get it towards the third base area. Third base line, and he didn't, so it's an unfortunate play for the Royals.
I mean, we talk about the Washburn family, and completely athletic. Mike Washburn played some pro, semi-pro baseball. Mackenzie has played some basketball, volleyball, hockey, baseball, obviously. His father was a CFL player.
That's right.
Canadian Football League.
Yep.
We mentioned yesterday during the home run derby, the grandfather, Leroy Washburn. Well, he was an international track official and has been to numerous Olympics, World Championships, as well as Pan American Games and so forth. That's going to be up the gut, looking to tag up at second, looking to turn to two. Do they get it? And yes.
They got it.
Merrill tried to slide into first, but not able to advance the runners. A little bit of small ball from the Fredericton Royals in the bottom half of the sixth inning.
They scored no runs on one hit.
Make sure to visit bellline.ca/TV1 for the TV1 live webcast schedule as well as on-demand content. You can also get information on TV1 live events available exclusively to Bellline 5 customers in Atlantic Canada on Channel 1 and 401. 3 amazing services, 1 amazing price.
Well, that kept British Columbia in the ballgame. That was a great pivot between Forrester and Cooper. The ball wasn't hit overly hard, and to double up like that is a game saver, really. And let's see if this sparks the BC team.
Well, we've had a great evening here at the ballpark. Actually, a great first day of action. And love all the tweets that are coming in, all the emails, so make sure to continue those. Love to hear from you who your favorite players are. Obviously, the tidbits of knowledge. And obviously, the puzzles that we get from Bobby Mash. Still trying to figure that one out. We're going to hope to get the answer. So if we don't get it by the end of the game, just send us a message, and we'd love to hear from that. Kramer on the mound for the top of the 7th, looking to finish this off.
Got a couple more tweets come in. Brooks Saunders, and absolutely Brooks. He said you got to tip your cap to Aaron Johnson behind the plate, especially that block when a 1-2 pitch when Langley was threatening. But he calls a great game, and tip your hat off to Aaron as well. He's always been one of those catchers that have excelled in New Brunswick. And Scotty McWilliams, he's glad to see it's not just New Brunswick teams baffled by Casimir.
top of the 7th inning, their designated hitter number 21, Laszlo Horvath.
So Laszlo Horvath will lead things off here in the top of the 7th inning.
Langley had the 5, 6, 7 hitters try to get on.
Well, we may see some pinch hitters come in here. Try to give a little extra spark. Hotzak is on deck, and Peters is in the hole. Kramer facing some familiar foes. Former teammates, now rivals. Evens up the count at 1 apiece. And a great crowd here at Royals Field in Fredericton. And that's going to clip the bottom part of the strike zone. Horvath lets out a little sigh. Thought that would have been a little too low. Breaking ball just outside the plate. The crowd looking for a strike, but won't get it. Michel Boulian had a fantastic night. Strike 3. Horvath will head over to the dugout. 1 down here in the top of the 7th.
Now batting the catcher, number 13, Sean Hotzak.
Sean Hotzak heads up to the plate. 1 down. A 3-0 lead for the Fredericton Royals. And that'll be strike 1. Kramer. And that's a big swing. He's got some pitches to work with here now. Hotzak behind the count, 0-2. And swing for strike 3. Bring the ball around the bases. Kramer continuing to work his magic.
Now batting the left fielder, number
2
22,
down.
Jesse Peters.
Jesse Peters.
Well, this has been an unbelievable performance by Chris. Well, I think you can pick the MVP for this one, Eric. For Fredericton, anyway.
I'm going to go with the bat boy.
He's been unbelievable on the mound here today. Worth the
Worth the price of admission.
Worth the price of admission, for
13 strikeouts. And he's got Peters on the count.
He's throwing harder now than he did in the first inning.
That's what I'm thinking too. Just wants to get it over with, but he's behind the count, 2-0. Peters is the 7th batter in the order. Takes a big cut at that one. Can't catch up to the fast pitch, the fastball.
I don't think he's going to deliver anything else right now. He's just bringing the heat.
Inside pitch on the strike zone. Peters has a few words.
That pitch right down the middle of the plate.
2-2 count, 1 more strike. Kramer looking to shut this down. And that's going to be swung down that third base line. Fouled off. Extends the at-bat.
There's a good point by Justin McQuaid. He said, Kramer isn't even fair tonight. He looks like men against boys, and he really does.
Changeup, he fools Peters. The Royals, Kramer is pumped up. Gets a big win against a familiar friends, now rivals, the Langley Blaze. Could you imagine in this big matchup that the host Fredericton Royals would shut out 3-0 the Langley Blaze, a perennial contender?
His last 12 outs, he had 11 strikeouts.
Well,
that's pretty impressive. That's dominating the last part of the game. His last 12 outs, were 11 were strikeouts. 11 of them were strikeouts.
So what you're trying to say is, Scott, is that Kramer is your choice for player of the game.
Yeah.
Final score of tonight's game, your Peterbilt DQ Royals 3, British Columbia no score.
Well, who's your pick for the Langley Blaze?
I would say their pitcher.
Of the game.
Well, you know, we actually, like, and not to take away from Shane Kramer's performance, but really Dave Crosman hitting 2 home runs and, you know, 9th in the batting order, fantastic outing. You know, maybe one of those players played above his level.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And so tough because usually player of the game, most dominant performance. And, you know, definitely was it with...
Poor Dave Crosman hits 2 home runs as long as he's player of the game.
That's right.
Player of the game for the
Scores 2 out of the 3 home runs.
for Team British Columbia, the pitcher, number 16, Sean Schaefer.
Yeah, so tough. Sean Schaefer, you know, you have 2 earned runs, 3 runs scored, 7 strikeouts, pretty decent line.
That's the
But he gave up those 2 home runs to Dave Crossman that, basically sealed it.
Yeah, he threw really well as well.
He threw a complete game shutout with 14 strikeouts.
Well, like you said, it was going to be Shane Kramer. But we do have to give the honorable mention, Dave Crossman. 2 home runs in 2 at-bats. Just a fantastic performance. But Shane Kramer obviously stealing the show here tonight at Royals Field.
Well, good job. We have both in the Brunswick teams, one Charlottetown, but
yeah.
have gotten a win, so that's going to keep the fans definitely interested. And it's a class act here by Langley as well. They're all giving Shane Kramer a big hug, and that's probably pretty tough for them and him to play against each other. So little class act there by British Columbia.
Well, he's usually their ace in the pocket and getting them into the National Championship Finals. But it's been a fantastic night at the park. Fantastic day here at Royals Field. Lots of action. Make sure you're with us. Tomorrow morning, we start off 8:30 tomorrow morning here at Royals Field. For Scott Giggy, myself, Eric Moffitt, our executive producer, Brian Fisher, and cameraman Chris White. We wish you a good night. Come back and join us tomorrow morning, 8:30 for more action here on TV1.